Trojans are expected to win this organization at all times. This league is like safety. Puck sticks and other objects shall at will be in your seat while playing is in action. Today's officials are assigned from the Southwest Ohio Hockey League, and they are Mr. Wilson and Mr. Brandon.
Give this to Roger.
His assistant across the game. The starting lineup for the Troy High School Trojans. At right defense number 7, Mike McGurk. At left defense number 11, Colin Burkhart. At right wing number 5, Quinn Garrity.
Can you see where the country lies? Once so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose rushing lights and bright stars through the perilous
And welcome live inside the Historic Hobart Arena in downtown Troy, Ohio. Troy, Ohio TV proudly presents Ohio High School Athletic Association Varsity Ice Hockey as the Troy Trojans and the Talawanda Brave take on the final home game of the regular season for the Troy Trojans. Of course, the Trojans having quite the year already to get set as we get ready to go. A few technical issues here, but we are on the way. As we take a look at the Trojans, it is Youth Hockey Night, Youth Hockey Morning, a special morning matinee game. The Trojans are playing to honor the youth hockey programs here in Troy while they are finishing their seasons. There is a healthy dose of hockey families in the building from all over the Miami Valley for this hockey game tonight. And we will be treated to a special presentation from the Might IP program. The little 5- and 6-year-olds will skate between periods during the first intermission, so you'll want to check that out as well. As skating into your screen there is starting netminder Noah Carver for the Trojans. The sophomore will get his start in between the pipes as the Trojans and the Braves in the final home game of the regular season for the Troy Trojans. Your referee tonight is Mr. Bill Peck as we are underway. Played by the captain, Mike McGurk, in his final game as a Trojan here at Hobart Arena, as they'll play ahead. And work back into the corner again, still dealing with some technical difficulties as Carver makes a save, and the loose puck comes out to center ice, and they'll work it all the way around. And again, back inside Trojan territory. Played ahead. Back around on the far side. They'll work it out from behind the net. And again, picked back up off this hike cycle across. As we had some camera difficulties there, we apologize for. We're back under pressure as the Trojans continue to pressure out of their own zone. A drive! And Skora sent that one just high off the high glass, and now out to center ice it comes. Trojans will get a line change as they work it back from the far side. Wholesale changes for both clubs as they'll work it ahead. Now Talawanda stops at the Trojan blue line as Schneider gets his pocket picked, and now the Trojans catch the Brave on a line change back inside their zone, but Smith couldn't contain. And there's Burkhart playing again, trying to get a piece of it. Couldn't get much on it. It works back into the corner with a big hit. Down low as they try to battle it free. There's Andrew Condi, who's able to push that one away as it's picked back up by Cooper Sexton, and the freshman sends it rink wide back out to center. Feeds Ian Francis not out inside the Brave zone as they'll give chase. He'll curl off, and now the Brave battling for it deep in their own far side corner with the puck on this breakout attempt. Under pressure, sends it out to center ice as McGurk is there at the red stripe, fires it in before Schneider is able to get back inside for Oxford Talawanda, and that one back around the Nashers to the point as Harper, a drive sailed wide, rebound back to the far side. Schultz a big hit into the corner as they'll wrap it around the Nashers, still playing into the near side as they'll work it free. And back at the point is here's Brady Smith. Trying to control that one away as they'll work it free. Picked up at the half boards. Trojans contain as Smith tries to send it back to Francis Nod, who picks it up into the corner before he has his pocket picked. And now here comes the Brave back the other way. At the tail end of there, Chip Hinckley will fire that one in. McKinley, will fire that one in as it's played by Noah Carver. And back at the line, onside play as the Trojans back inside their left wing corner. 12 minutes and 9 seconds to go here in this opening period as the icing is waved off. Trojans will finish their change on a big outlet pass to center ice as Gesham picks it up and curls back inside his own zone. with the puck out through center ice. Breaks 3 wide at the line, chips it into the far corners. They'll play it out. Here's Jack Crawford up against the Dashers, and a big bouncing puck is knocked away and finally held on to by the netminder Noah Carver, who makes the save now with 11:47 to go. And the faceoff will remain inside the Trojans' end, as that one is won easily by Gavin Burris, who plays it on the half boards. Can't contain. Rave carrying it back out from the side. Loose puck out in front. Hit with a high stick, but play continues as they'll work it back on the point near side. Close call right there as Gesham a drive. Impossible angle. Picks up his own rebound before it's slapped away by Lombardo. And now the Trojans try to clear out through center. And it's forced back to the goaltender, who has to clean up the dirty work there as the Trojans just could not get that out of their own zone. That errant outlet pass through the middle nearly cost the Trojans if that was a shot from the slot. Fortunately, Noah Carver was in position to make that play as the faceoff remains inside the Trojans' end. And it's won back by the Brave. Scooped up by Smith. Can't clear. Drive high. Hits off of Jack Profit in front. Redirection picked up by Burkhart. And the backhander. Out past Hill to center ice it goes, but he's able to fire it in off sides, and they tag up at the line. Played back on the far side. Play continues as McKinley tries to hold it at the half boards. Can't. Smith is able to strong arm it out to center ice before Hall picks it off momentarily. But the stretch pass to the near side for Ian Francis Nod is able to get it deep down low as Hill picks it up out of the trapezoid and works it back to the far corner. Played out again. Side of the cage. Trojans couldn't get a shooting solution, and so the Brave now out to center ice. They coming across the line. Crawford ties up the man, but not clear, as Francis Knott with a big back check is able to knock it away at the last second, as this one right back to Ian Francis Knott, and now for Cooper Sexton on the far boards, as Sexton works it out to center ice. In front of the Trojans' benches, freshman line able to clean up the dirty work there and force it deep inside the Talawanda zone. Still scoreless now with 10 minutes and 11 seconds to go here in this opening period as they'll work it ahead. And that one's going to be called for an icing call. And bring the faceoff all the way back inside the Talawanda zone again with 10:04 to go. In this scoreless first period from the Historic Hobart Arena, I'd like to thank our partners here on Troy, Ohio TV. I'd like to thank you for tuning in here on Troy, Ohio TV, the official home of Troy Trojans hockey all season long, as they'll battle down low into the corner. Played again, off the Dashers. Takes a funny bounce off the high glass and around on this outlet pass. Birds. A cross-ice pass back into the far corner as McGurk back to play it on the half boards. Can't get much on it as Bird picks up his own rebound, shoots and scores! Defense wasn't there to help out the netminder, and he was able to pick up his own rebound to score that one to make this a 1-0 hockey game here with 9:31 to go, as Ladius Bain plays on the organ in the background. A fitting song for that goal. Schreider gets credit for the goal as we hear public address announcer Roger Mopower in the background. Big hit off the left wing side, sends it back to the point. There's a shot off a skate, loose puck, knocked away by the paddle of Noah Carver, and out comes the Trojans. Sexton with the puck out through center ice gets picked off. They'll work it back on the far side. Stretch pass, shot wide off the end boards. That one knocked away, again out of the trapezoid. They'll play it around. Still trying to control. As that one knocked away again by the defense out in front, and good back checking there by Francis Knott as the shot high, wide glove side off the end glass. Now on the half boards, the Trojans desperately trying to get it out of their own zone. 8:25 and counting here as they battle against the kick plate. McGurk trying to kick it free. So was Sexton, as almost resembled a penalty kill for a moment. But as Schneider, fresh off that goal with the loose puck, tries to clear it out in front. Here's a centering feed, knocked away, and the Trojans are going to be icing this one all the way down. And icing the call. And that'll bring the faceoff all the way back inside the Trojan zone. And the faceoff inside the Trojans' end. Looks like it'll be taken by Gavin Burris. And it's one back into the corner and around the Dashers. No icing on this one, as they say it's going to be tipped at a big head of speed. Oh, it's Quinn Garrity. That one's going to be offsides, and offsides the call. And offsides now will stop the clock with 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in this opening period. 1-0 Oxford Talawanda. If you're just joining us here on Troy, Ohio TV, I am JT Zabo. An afternoon, early morning, depending on what time zone you happen to be in watching this. Here it is a late morning matinee as McKinley fires that one in wide for Youth Hockey Day here at Hobart Arena, hosted by the Trojans. We'll get to see the IP Timbits skate between the first intermission for us. We'll have that coverage for you right here on Troy, Ohio TV as well. As the wraparound attempt foiled by Condi, he'll play it ahead now out of the Trojan zone in a stretch pass rink wide. Now for Garrity at the tail end of his shift. Laid down low by the Brave. They'll work it back around. As Talawanda, McKinley across the line too wide. There's a paddle save made by Carver right back into the far side as they'll work it back to the point and held on. Top of the circle. Loose puck picked up by Burkhart for the Trojans. Again with the rink-wide feed. And icing the call now with 6:39 to go here in the first period. That'll bring the faceoff back inside the Trojans' end. On the glove side of Noah Carver. And the draw won by the Brave. Here's a backhand feed knocked away at the last second. Or Schreiner picks it back up. Into the corner, battling against the Dashers. Still trying to kick it free, and the Trojans able to clear this one all the way down and icing the call. And the faceoff back inside the Trojan zone. Freshman Smith to take the draw. That one right back against the Dashers. Centering pass. A lot of open ice passes here we've seen the Trojans complete. Not always successful. And so the icing again, more of a relief valve for the Trojans, who just can't get any breakout going here, much to the dismay of head coach Rick Zabo. Over on the bench, trying to get the Trojans to settle down. And maybe it's a side effect of the early start, definitely throwing everybody off their routines here. Hockey, a very routine-oriented sport for the athletes. And so you change up the start time. You can always have a slightly different effect. Even more so for Talawanda with the long bus ride ahead this morning. And now here's Brady Smith with the puck. Trying to get a shot, but got knocked off the loose puck in the last second. Sends it rink wide back now for Sexton in the far corner. Had his pocket picked, and now here come the Braves the other way. at the Trojans line. Can't contain, and so that one right back to the netminder to stop the clock with 5:28 to go. As you see, Noah Carver there. A 1-0 hockey game. The Trojans still trying to get a little offensive magic going here out of their own zone, or at least out of their own zone, as the puck seems to be or almost like the ice is unevenly tilted to the south, which would be the Trojans' end. Nonetheless, the Brave trying to stuff that one in. Rebound attempt knocked away by Carver at the last second, and a great pad save made as he went post to post. Still work it back into the far side corner. Still digging for the loose puck there. Out of the corner it comes as it's scooped back up by the Trojans on the half boards. Couldn't get much on it. And no battle as they lose the puck. There's Kelly still against the Dashers. Finally knocked away at the last second as they'll work it around, and we've got a delayed penalty coming. And it looks like we have a penalty coming. And indeed, West Poley into the box. Looks like it's going to be a hooking penalty with 4:45 to go here in this first period to bring the faceoff back inside the Talawanda zone. And just like that, the Trojans will have the first power play of the game. As there's a shot by McGurk, a big save. Rebound kicks all the way back to the point, and a shot blocked out in front, and now here comes a breakaway the other way. Schneider already one goal, trying to pick the corner, and that one's up out of play.
And that's another 2 power play for the Trojans.
And a good shot there by Schneider trying to pick the far corner. As play resumes inside the Trojan zone, the Trojans on their first AccuTool power play of the night, presented by AccuTool and Die, the official power play sponsor of Troy Trojans hockey. And Schneider regrouping out of his own zone. Geshem couldn't get a hold of it, and Carver back to play it out of the trapezoid now for Berghardt. Under heavy pressure, he'll send it back out to neutral ice in front of the benches. 1 minute and 8 seconds to go on this AccuTool power play for the Trojans, their first of the game. They work it out for Burkhart, sends it back around. McGurk misstepping as they'll play it back around. Still with the loose puck is Garrity, trying not to pass it rink wide, and again gets his pocket picked, this time for Gershman. A shot off the side of the cage, rebound attempt, knocked away by Carver. Loose puck, nobody knew where it was for a second before it was picked back up by the Brave and dumped back inside the corner. 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go, just 30 seconds remaining on that penalty to the Brave for hooking. As West Pauly communicating with his bench to figure out exactly where they want him to go in 20 seconds, as that one is going to be knocked out. And the puck is knocked up and out of play through the protective mesh on either side of the rink here at Hobart. And the faceoff comes out to neutral ice now with 3:04 to go. And won single-handedly by the Brave out to neutral ice in front of the Trojans bench, but he overskates the puck as they battle for it on the red stripe. Still trying to control. Big hit there. Delayed penalty coming. And the Trojans getting the benefit of yet another penalty against the Brave. As Kelly is in the box, it was a call from behind the plate with 2 minutes and 47 seconds to go, with just 2 seconds left on that original penalty to West Pauly. The Trojans having a very short two-man advantage as they return a man to the ice. Trojans remain on the AccuTool power play, presented by AccuTool and Doc. Hill steps across the Trojan line, works it back in as they'll throw it around the corner. Interference is the call on Kelly as you hear the public address announcer Roger Mumpau. As Cooper Sexton called off the puck, no call. Played again. As the Brave will just dump it deep inside the zone. Mark back around on the dash. Here's McGurk. Sends it rink wide, but it's going to be touched up, so no icing as Hall plays it out of his own corner. And around now for Smith. Smith holds on to it, side of the cage, tries to work it around. He'll race for it on this high cycle now to the point. Settling it down was McGurk. He'll glove it down and send it back to Mike McGurk for a drive. Low on the ice, rebound. Out in front, nobody was there, but the Trojans are able to control. Back top of the circle, a shot. Loose puck out in front as he had it at the last second, and it just was not enough. And some excellent goaltending there on the other side of the ice as the Trojans had some real quality power play opportunities. 1:37 to go here in this first period. As 47 seconds remain on the Trojans' second man advantage of the game. With the Braves chipping it off the wall. Onside play as he tagged up. That was Schneider. Send it back around out through center ice. Gates was offsides, and offsides is the call. 1:18 to go. Offsides is what they're going to call the Brave for, and the faceoff comes back out into neutral ice. And the Trojans win the draw cleanly back inside their own zone. Backhand feed to Garrity, who chips it deep inside the Brave zone. 20 seconds and counting on the Trojans' AccuTool power play. From that interference call from Kelly, but here's a 2-on-1 the other way for the Brave. He picks the corner and scores. A shorthanded goal. Makes this a 2-0 hockey game. Under a minute now to go. The Trojans now facing a 2-goal deficit. As racing up is Ian Francis, not on the left wing side. Geishan gets the goal unassisted as the Brave return to full strength. 5-on-5 hockey here for the remainder of this first period. As Smith, with a head of steam out of his own zone, finally runs out of room. As that picked back up by Cooper Sexton. He'll circle around with 25 seconds and counting here in this opening period. Held on by West Pauly in a weak shot wide right off the end board. Picked back up by Andrew Conti, who throws it out from behind the trapezoid to Burkhart. Wraps it around to the point, but not out. Here's a centering pass in front. A big save by Carver. Rebound left wing corner. Up to the half boards as they'll battle down low. Sexton trying to kill the time and does. As the first period expires, the Trojans and the Brave 2-0 after one period. We'll step aside when we come back. Intermission with the little kids. Right here, this is Troy Trojans hockey on Troy, Ohio TV. And we welcome you live back here inside the historic Hobart Arena as we are in the first intermission between the Oxford Talawanda Brave and your Troy Trojans right here on Troy, Ohio TV. As what you're watching there are the Troy Bruins IP Mites skating between periods, coached by Mike Bucky Brown. And the crowd being treated to some excellent future Trojans out on the ice. A number of the players for the Trojans started out just like this as part of the Troy Recreation Department's youth hockey program. And again, you're watching Troy Bruins, Timbits, IP, and Mike kids. These are 5 and 6-year-olds as part of the Troy Recreation Department's youth hockey program, the Learn to Play aspect. Not a lot of people have left their seats to watch this during the first intermission. And certainly a good sign for the future of hockey here in Troy. As we said, a lot of the current and even some of the former Troy Trojans that you're watching tonight actually got their start this same way. And if this is something maybe your youngster or your grandkid or someone you know in your life that might like to try the greatest sport on earth, certainly a simple call here to the Hobart Arena office. Can get you more information here on the Troy Bruins youth hockey program. A wonderful booster organization as well, working hand in hand with the Troy High School hockey program to promote the game of hockey here in the Miami Valley, not just Troy. Do not need to be a Troy resident to be a part of the Troy Bruins. And a good goal right there. And you can see they really work on the fundamentals, too.
Thank you, gentlemen. Nice round of applause for our future of Troy hockey. Having a great time, looking forward to taking their chuck pucks.
And so as they clear all of the mites, we'll step aside one more time before we get started for period number 2. You are watching Troy Trojans Varsity Hockey on Troy, Ohio TV. And we welcome you live back inside the Historic Hobart Arena in downtown Troy. As we're just underway here for second period action, as the Trojans facing that 2-goal deficit with a shot, tried to pick the corner, but that one's up and out of play. And so that'll stop the clock now with just about 20 seconds gone here in this opening period. A good effort there by the Trojans as they switch ends here for this second period. 2-0 Talawanda in the lead if you're just joining us here on Troy, Ohio TV. And so the Trojans fire that one back in offside. Played back around on this outlet pass. Picked up by the Brave, and they'll just chip it inside the zone. Played again, back out on the half boards, right wing side. Back for McGurk. Fires it around. The captain works it out ahead of scorer. Holds it in on the line for the Brave. Picked back by Gesham. Already 1 goal in that first period. Put that one off of the mask of Noah Carver as the Braves stretch out across the Trojan line, forcing it back to the near side. Still battling across ice, top of the circle, drop pass, loose puck heading in front, knocked away at the last second as they'll force it again. Back to the point for Skora. Here's a shot low on the ice on the end boards, rebound, redirection, cleared away in front of the crease as the pressure continues off this bouncing puck right into the near wing corner. Played on the wall. At the point, Skora drive, that one into the breadbasket of Noah Carver to stop the clock now with 13:10 to go here in this middle stanza from the Historic Hobart Arena in downtown Troy on the frozen, snowy banks of the Great Miami River. Came into the rink this morning and there were already a handful of tobogganers out on the levee. A well-known spot to do that activity. As the bouncing puck knocked into the Talawanda zone bench. As they play Crazy Train for my youngest, who is a huge Aussie fan, as it turned out. Who knew? As I look at him Over in Section 19, belting out some Aussie tonight. That's for you, Rhino. Play continues now for Smith, the big bouncing puck, and that's going to hit up and out of play. And so a lot of pucks going a lot of places here this morning. A very lively biscuit here in the second period. Stop the clock with 12:46 to go. And the Brave will force that one out to neutral ice. Offside is going to be the call, and you can kind of see that one from about, 300 feet away. And so that'll stop the clock again. Kind of a choppy start to the second period compared to what we saw during the first. 12:37 and counting here in the second period as the faceoff will be in the neutral zone, directly opposite of the Talawanda bench as it's won by the Brave, but Smith is able to knock it back to West Pauley, who retreats at his own line before sending it rink wide, and icing is the call. And icing is what we get. And the faceoff comes all the way back inside the Oxford zone. For the draw inside the Talawanda zone. Right off this draw, scooped up by the Brave. Long headman chip, icing is signaled. Was he going to get there? No, he didn't. And so the faceoff comes back inside the Brave zone again. Tried that long stretch pass, but just was a little too rich for him. Almost the last couple attempts here on this breakout looked like they were trying to get to a first down, the way they're just throwing that puck forward. And they're going to try rushing it this time, splitting the defense with the breakaway. Gets hauled off, and a delayed penalty coming against the Trojans. What is it going to be? It's going to be a hooking penalty. And it's Mike McGurk in the box for hooking at 12:09. Here in the second period, and quite probably prevented a third goal for the Brave. Very lucky he did not end up getting called for a penalty shot. As you can almost tell, the referee, Bill Peck, was contemplating it there once he made the stoppage of play. Nonetheless, just a 2-minute minor to Mike McGurk, and the power play now for the first time to the Brave is a drive. Paddled aside by Noah Carver as they'll work it out from the trapezoid and around. Now for Lombardo on the half-board left wing side as he's going to force it all the way down free of charge. Gates back to play it. Under a little bit of pressure there on this breakout attempt now on the near side with the man advantage. Here's Schneider across the line, too wide. Drops it back to Geshem on the point under pressure. Skates in between the circles and drops it off now on his hike cycle. A drive as that sailed wide. Rebound back on the left wing side. Still with Geshem. One goal already tonight in that first period. Skates with it on a high cycle as it's gloved down easily by Noah Carver to stop the clock now with 11:16 to go here in this second period. 2-0 Talawanda in the lead if you're just joining us here on Troy, Ohio TV. As a shot right from the draw. Bouncing puck knocked away, and this one's going to be sent 185 feet the other way by the Trojans. Of course, Hobart Arena, a shorter than regulation surface of 185 by 85. A little bit of home ice advantage, especially since the Brave used to playing at the Goggin Ice Center's 200 feet rink. As Kelly tries this one-touch breakout attempt to West Pauley and now out through neutral ice. Bouncing puck again right back inside the Brave end. They'll chip it deep inside the Trojan territory and around. Played by Carver out from behind the trapezoid, but Crawford fans on the first attempt at the Zamboni gate. A little bit of chippy ice there. Could not clear as Harper had the time and drops it back. 9 seconds and counting on the Brave power play, their first of the night, as a drive save made by Carver. And that one's going to squeak all the way down just as time expires on McGurk's penalty, and we return to full strength. And he gives a chase right back into the near corner. Playing it ahead. Trying to cycle down low, out from behind the net with a little help from Smith as they'll work it out to the neutral zone. Under 10 minutes and counting now here in the second period as the Trojans fire that deep inside the Brave end, where it's the captain, Mike McGurk, battling for it. Right down low, still trying to clear, and now here comes clearing pass ahead, touched up, no icing signal, as West Poly touched it at the blue line, and the Trojans forced to regroup out from behind their own net. Now a forced pass on this breakout attempt, rink wide. That was a bit too much for Maddie Logan in her final home appearance for the Trojan as the senior curls off and played ahead, back out to center ice. Icing signaled against the Brave, icing waved off as they touch it first at the line and forced back into the far side corner. Played ahead on the half-boards. Geshem nearly had his pocket picked under 4 Trojan pressures with a little dangle there. Fires it rink wide. Back to Hall on the near side point. Bouncing puck off the Dashers. Connie couldn't control. Forced back now for Oxford. As the Talawanda Brave could not keep it inside their own zone as Maddie Logan now forcing it in front of the benches. She'll curl off now with 8:45 as we approach the midway point of this hockey game. 2-0, Talawanda still in the lead. Shots on goal through this point, 15-3 in favor of the Brave, as the Trojans struggling to get any consistent offensive machinery going so far, as offsides is going to be the call. And that stops the clock for an offsides call with 8 minutes and 21 seconds to go. Again, this the final home game of the regular season for the Trojans. A special late morning, early afternoon matinee here as part of Youth Hockey Day, hosted by the Troy Bruins. We watch the IP Mites skate between periods. As now here's Gavin Burris. A head of steam fired an impossible angle wide off the high glass. And now here come the Brave back out to neutral ice. Centering pass picked up by Lombardo momentarily before it's right back to the Trojans. Miles Schumann able to get that one back now for Lombardo on the left wing side. And icing waved off as all of those street hockey skills that Lombardo's been practicing since the snowstorm hit seem to be paying off a little bit for him, as a hard shot by McKinley wide stick side. Rebound back out from behind the net. Bouncing puck knocked away, and that one's going to be held on to. And so we'll get another face-off inside the Trojans' end. 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in this second period. And it'll be Gabby Paff in to take the draw. And there's a low shot turned aside by Carver. Trojans on this breakout attempt but cannot clear their own zone. Rink wide now for Smith. Crosses the line and fires it into the paraphernalia down low. As Crawford holds it in at the line. Sends it back as Getz back up from behind his own net under pressure from Francis Knott. They tangle back into the far wing corner. Played again. Kelly with the puck on the near side. Paff tried to knock it free. Still on the half boards before it's finally knocked out to center ice as West Poly. Offsides and finally tagged back up as they step across the line, and play continues as that weak shot back into the far corner picked up by Berghardt around the Dashers before he has his pocket picked by West Poly. And finally the Trojans relief valve able to clear the puck all the way down. As it's played down low. Battling for it down into the corner. Finally knocked loose. As Guessman picks it back up on the far side. Stretch pass ahead for Schneider and over the line. Right wing side, top of the circle, and drive. Loose puck knocked away by Bernhardt at the last second. 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the second period. As play continues, deep into the corner. Round the Dashers, held on by Skora. A shot. Blocker pad save made by Carver. Rebound, scooped up by the Trojans on a breakout attempt momentarily before it's picked up by Skora. He'll touch it in onside, so play continues. One touch pass by Guessman. Dropped it back from Bird as a shot. It's going to be stopped up. And so the face-off remain inside the Trojans' end. As the draw, won by the Brave with a high shot. It's going to be called for a hand pass. And they're going to say the faceoff comes all the way back inside the Brave zone. Off that hand pass, and so the Trojans getting a little bit of a gift there. As Lombardo picks it up on the far side. Holding on to it. Still under pressure. Battling around to the far side. On his centering pass, Cooper couldn't control it. It's picked back up by Quinn Garrity. Sidestepped and picked back up for Cooper momentarily. Had his pocket picked again by Garrity. Loose puck knocked away. And so the faceoff remains inside the Brave zone. Loose puck bounces wide and right back in front of the slot. Quinn Garrity with the loose puck gets it back. Bernhardt shoots and scores! And just like that, the Talawanda lead cut down to one. And Gavin Burris will get credit for the goal. Garrity gets credit for the assist. And so the Trojans coming to life a little bit here in the tail end of the second period. Cutting the Talawanda lead down to one as there's the dangling puck knocked away by Carver. He'll hold on to the loose puck. Still there before it's picked back up by Sexton. And he will ice it all the way down. And so the faceoff remains inside the Trojans' end. It'll be Gavin Burris again to take the draw. As it's cleared away by the Talawanda Braves. Skora gets that ahead for Kelly as he gets his pocket picked. Here's Gavin Burris, sidesteps a hit and works it deep inside the Brave zone. And Schneider out from behind his own net. 3 minutes and 41 seconds to go in there in this second period from the historic Hobart Arena in downtown Troy. Center rink wide. Picked back up by Crawford. Icing's offside signal. And so they'll play it out to neutral ice. Picked back up by Quinn Garrity with no offsides and no icing called. As the Brave forced back out from behind their own net again on this breakout attempt. One touch, Kelly couldn't contain, and the Trojans quick to fire it right back in at the tail end of that line change, and there might have been a bit of miscommunication there with the forwards, as they're going to call offsides against the Trojans with 3:01 to go here in this second period. And so just like that, picked back up again by the Brave as Getz sends it around, rink wide. On this breakout attempt, now 2-on-2, out through center ice, under pressure. He gets tripped up, and no call. Trojans getting lucky there on that no call, as it's gloved down by Carver. Loose puck, delayed penalty. That's going to go against Troy. Francis not quick to touch it. And it looks like it's going to be Berghardt in the box for roughing. And so with 2 minutes and 31 seconds to go here in the second period. Colin Sexton in the box, 2 minutes for roughing. Here's a shot by Gates, and he scores! A power play goal by the Talawanda Brave at 2:25. Puts this lead for Talawanda back to 2. As play continues back into the far side. And so you hear public address announcer Roger Mumpower with the call.
Number 16 with the goal, Andrew Schrader.
Schrader gets his second goal of the game. As you hear the call from Roger Mumpower, Trojans battling deep inside the Brave zone. We're back to even strength hockey. 3-1 on the big boards here at Hobart. As the Brave try to clear the zone and finally do. Fired right back in by Andrew Condi as the Trojans tag up. And the loose puck, almost, Geschman didn't know where he was. Headed towards the blue paint of the crease there. Goaltender got a little terrified. Really put it in himself, and now here's a giveaway. Andrew Francis not. With a fancy move, but not fancy enough, as Condi battling for it along the dashers, able to knock it away. Holding on to it to the far side. Under a minute now to go here in this second period. 3-1 Talawanda in the lead. For a little late morning, early afternoon matinee hockey as part of Youth Hockey Day, presented by the Troy Trojans, with a number of Troy Bruins youth hockey parents and families on hand for the home finale of the regular season for the Trojans. It's McKinley for the Brave. Takes the hit and gets it deep inside the Trojans' end. 26 seconds and counting. No battle behind the play there, but play continues off the half boards and held in. West Pauley still with the puck, still battling, and somehow is able to keep it in for the Brave as he gets tangled up by two Trojans. A lot of pressure there. 7 seconds and counting here in this second period as Scorer can't hold on, and that should do it. As the horn sounds to end 2 periods of hockey here inside the historic Hobart Arena. And so, after 2 periods of hockey, it's a 3-1 lead for the visiting Talawanda Brave against the Troy Trojans here on Youth Hockey Day as part of the youth hockey outreach with the Miami Valley hockey community here. Trojans will skate into the dressing room after 2 periods facing that 2-goal deficit. We have one more period of regulation coming up. After the intermission, we will step aside. You are watching Troy Trojans Varsity Hockey on Troy, Ohio TV.
Any more? Any more thoughts? Yeah. Is that it? It's all done? Okay. Well, good job there. I'm going to call this one closest. Number 294, Talawanda. Okay, got it. If you have ticket number 8080168, you want to pick the 50 draw. 8080168. Thank you so much.
And we welcome you back live inside the Historic Hobart Arena in downtown Troy, Ohio. Troy, Ohio TV proudly presents Ohio High School Athletic Association varsity ice hockey between the visiting Talawanda Braves and the Troy Trojans as we welcome you back inside the comfy confines here of Hobart Arena on what you would describe as a picturesque day for hockey outside. Beautifully snowy with the tobogganers as the teams skate into the ice surface. And so after two periods of hockey, the Trojans holding that two-goal deficit against the Talawanda Brave. A 3-1 hockey game after two periods. The Brave definitely coming off a tough loss at home last night. And so as the players get set to go, one more period of hockey here for the regular season, at least the home portion of the schedule at Hobart Arena, as this is the conclusion, the third finale for head coach Rick Szabo since retaking the program 3 seasons ago, and has done a terrific job, in my opinion, rebuilding this program. As we get set to go, the face-off at center ice, and we are underway here for period number 3. Brave holding on to that 3-1 lead as they'll play it out from the Trojan corner. Ice is still a little bit wet from the Zamboni, but play continues deep inside the Talawanda zone, centering pass. Burris had the right idea, but the bouncing puck picked back up by the Brave, and out they come. Here's Gershman below the circle, got tied up. He'll play it around the Dashers, still battling for it down low into the corner and around the boards. Back to the point on the far side, and a high drive! Hit off the end boards and bounces back into the half boards right wing side as the one-touch pass out to neutral ice. And out come the Brave, retreating inside their own zone. That one's going to be touched up offsides by the Trojans, and so they'll tag back up at the line as the Brave continue pressuring across the red stripe, and Scora will fire that one in. Laid out from behind the trapezoid by Carver. On that attempted pass to the far side by Condi, worked it back into the corner on the right wing side as they'll battle for it. Chipped out to center ice in front of the benches was Quinn Garrity. Big head of steam there, trying to control the puck at the tail end of wholesale changes for both clubs. The Trojans able to backhand that one all the way back inside the Brave territory and around the Dashers as Wes Poley picks it up out of his own zone. Rink-wide feet, out to neutral ice. Picked up by Burkhart inside his own zone. Centering feed again, another pass through the middle. Intercepted. But finally cleared out to neutral ice. 13-14 in counting here in this third and final period of regulation. As Burkhart, from behind his own net, forces that one out to center ice with a head of steam as Smith. Nearly had a 2-on-0 in the making, but they're able to finally get that one deep inside the Brave zone as they send it rink wide to the near side on this breakout attempt. And out to center it comes for Wes Poley, a drive low on the ice, collected up into the paraphernalia of Noah Carver. And so with 12:50 to go, here in regulation, the faceoff remains inside the Trojans' end. And right off the draw, played into the corner. Centering pass knocked away by the Trojans, but can't clear is Gershon. That high pass intercepted down low off the far side and out to center it comes. And deep inside the Brave zone as they retreat. Far side on this breakout pass. Dropped it back in front of the benches. A little interference is going to be the call. And indeed, interference will be the call. And so as that one makes its way down, the Trojans back on the power play presented by AccuTool and Dye for the second time this afternoon, depending on which time zone you're in, or morning, or even night. With some of our fans tuning in, we have Uncle Darren from all the way in Portugal tuning in. I'm assuming it's afternoon there. Down south of the border as play continues. Now for Quinn Garrity. Centering feed. Send it back now for Lombardo. And he'll force it ahead now for Berghardt at the point. Wrapped around out from behind the net. Little help from Quinn Garrity, but not enough as out come the Brave to center ice. Trojans still on the man advantage for another minute two. As this one works its way off the bouncing puck high up into the air, down low inside Trojan territory. As they'll get that one back out to center ice. Intercepted by Cooper Sexton. He's got Lombardo on his wing as he takes a whopping from Smith-Poley into the corner. Dropped it back to the point. Jack Crawford fans on the clearing pass, and the Trojans forced to retreat back at the line and catch a line change. 28 seconds and counting on the Trojan man advantage, brought to you by AccuTool and Dye, the official power play sponsor of Troy Trojans hockey all season long, and we do appreciate them. Francis Knock hit off the puck by Scora. Played back down low into the corner as they work it. Right back on the far wing. Chipped it off the Dashers, and a good play there by Gavin Burris with a head of steam. Here's Burris. Too wide at the line. He'll force it in himself before drops it back for Francis. Nobody was there, but Garrity from the bench is able to help out before the loose puck gobbled up by Bird for the Braves the other way, and the Trojans stymied them at the line, forcing that one to be chipped in wide of the net of Noah Carver. 10 minutes to go, back to even strength hockey as icing signaled. And icing is the call. And that'll bring the face-off back inside the Trojans' end. Under 10 minutes now to go here in regulation. I'd also like to thank Andrew Condi's grandparents for tuning in from North Royalton, Ohio tonight, and everybody else from around the world watching live and on demand right here on Troy, Ohio TV. Be sure to like us on Facebook at Troy, Ohio TV, as well as Instagram and YouTube. There's a shot low on the ice, played skillfully by Noah Carver. And so they'll send that one all the way down. And the face-off remains inside the Trojan zone. As it's played back into the corner. And out to center it comes. With a head of steam is Smith on the far boards. Got knocked off the puck, but he's able to cycle it down low for Cooper Sexton. Had the right idea, thrown it towards the net, but it was knocked away at the last second as Condi holds the line, sends it right back in as it contained by the Braves on the left wing side. Sexton sized him up for a check, but he skated away. Is this one right back down low? And a shot played in. And so we'll get wholesale changes for both clubs with the faceoff inside the Trojans' end with 9:08 to go. Here in regulation, shots on goal through this point, a whopping 28-6 in favor of the visiting team. Nonetheless, it is a 3-1 game on the scoreboard, as that's going to be a hand pass. And the faceoff stays in the neutral zone. And work back into the far corner. Here's Jack Crawford. Tries to center rink wide, and it's picked up by Kelly as he gets knocked off the puck. Moving it off to the left side. Here's Lombardo. One-on-one. Dangles in, top of the circle, and takes a big hit as that one is knocked out of play. And so the faceoff remains inside the Brave zone with a fresh biscuit with 8 minutes and 32 seconds to go here in regulation. And right off the drop, Condi can't hold the line. Here come the Brave the other way, 3 wide. Sends that one wide of the net off the end boards to the half boards left wing side. And a big hit knocked Condi down in a pad save made by Carver as Garrity works it up to the point but not out. Finally, bouncing puck picked up by Quinn Garrity. A 2-on-1 in the making for the Trojans. A drive as that one stopped. Rebound back on the left wing side. Up to the point for Berghardt. Fans on the first attempt and has his pocket picked again. And now a 2-on-1 in the making as a delayed penalty from way behind the play. And that is enough to put the Trojans back on the power play for interference. Kelly in the box for 2 minutes now with 7:56 to go in regulation, and the Trojans get their third power play presented by AccuTool Precision Machining and Die, the official power play sponsor of Troy Trojans hockey. Troy's 0 for 2 on the prior power play attempts. This face-off taken and controlled by the Brave as they'll send it 100 feet the other way.
Max Kelly, a minor interference, 2 minutes, interference, Kelly of the Braves.
As you hear public address announcer Roger Mumpower with the call, there's Cooper Sexton with it. Good play to stay onside as they'll force it back into the corner. Chips it around the Dashers, now for Mike McGurk. Sends it rink wide for Berghardt, but under pressure, he forces it back into the corner. Might have been better for McGurk to just play that himself. And so they'll force that one again. Out through neutral ice, off a skate. Sexton can't control, McGurk can, and it hits off of Sexton right there. And that'll draw the offsides with 7:05 to go. Here in this very tight 3-1 hockey game. Wasn't until the tail end of that second period that the Trojans found their offensive footing. And at one point had cut the deficit back to 1, but it was not to be. As right away the Brave answered with a goal themselves less than a minute later. And so from the faceoff, this one played again. With the puck. Here's Gavin Burris. Sidesteps a hit by Skora, but loses the puck in the process as they'll send it rink wide. All the way back, played by Carver. Drops it back to the captain, Mike McGurk. On this breakout attempt off the Dashers and ahead for Burris. Picked off by McKinley as that one forced back inside the Trojan territory with 6:25 and counting here in regulation. Trojans still facing that 2-goal deficit as Francis Knott played it out ahead. Now for Gavin Burris. Had his stick lifted at the last moment and right back to the captain, Mike McGurk, who's forced to chase it deep inside his own zone, played by the netminder Noah Carver out from behind the trapezoid. And the Trojans relief valve are going to fire that one. All the way down, and icing was really the only option that they had at that point to bring it back. And with 5 seconds left on the power play, 6:01 on the big board, really wasn't a whole lot of offense to generate out of the zone. And so the faceoff won by the Brave as they skated out to center ice. We return to even strength hockey 5-on-5 as that works its way inside the Talawanda zone. Off a skate of Lombardo down low. On this breakout attempt for Hill. Sidesteps a hit and is able to get it deep into the corner. Centering pass off the side of the cage. Carver thought it might have headed north. Not quite sure where. But the bouncing puck still in top of the circle from the crease. And again, staying onside. And a good effort right there. Played back into the near wing corner. Right back. Top of the circle is shot. Glove down. And that'll stop the clock again with 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go. And a good glove save made by Noah Carver. Finishing up the home portion of his second season as the starting netminder. As the sophomore growing into the role more and more every game. A little bit of a shove from behind, not going to be called, as the crowd certainly letting the referees know that one might have been missed. Play continues. Even strength hockey, cycling it down low. Picked back up. As it's sent rink wide, icing signaled. And icing's going to be waved off. Delayed penalty coming. And the crowd not happy. And so, an interesting change of events here. The fans in Section 29 absolutely going after the referee. It's Gavin Burris in the box for the penalty. And about 20 seconds before getting called for the penalty, he was the one that got cross-checked from behind with the no call. And so you can see why some of the fans unhappy with the turn of events here, but nonetheless, the Trojans back on the AccuTool penalty kill. 1 for 3 so far on the power play tonight are the Talawanda Braves. As here's a long iced pass the other way. Play continues now for West Pauley. Stretch pass at the Trojans line. McGurk is able to make the play. Right back to the far side. Still trying to control. Here's Berghardt and around the Dashers on the near wing. For that one sent right back for McGurk. Quickly sends it all the way down 185 feet the other way, free of charge. Now out to center ice they come. Trojans give that one away out between the circles and fortunately just shot wide. Another costly giveaway with another pass up the middle. Again to the far side, he shoots and scores. 5-hole goal. And that one beat Carver off the 5-hole with 3 minutes and 23 seconds to go here in the third period, making this a 4-1 hockey game. Go downstairs momentarily for the official call from public address announcer Roger Mumpower. As we once again hear Lady of Spain As the old adage, anyone that's watched Slapshot knows, do not ever play Lady of Spain again. As Paul Newman so famously said. And so the goal here is to not play Lady of Spain again. Gets his second goal of the game. And Bird picks up the assist. 3-on-2 the other way for the Trojans, broken up into the far corner. Played back on the half boards near wing side. As Kelly across the line in onside. Throws that one just rink wide off the end boards. Out from behind the net. Here's Schneider. Back to the far corner. Under pressure from the Trojans. They'll work it back to the point, but not out. It's end boards. Geshem picks it back up, sends it across. Top of the circle, now dances around, figure eights. The other circle untouched, tries to put that one up, and he scores! And not exactly what they wanted there. Almost looked like he was going to try and go for a Michigan. Well, what ended up happening is he was able to do an entire figure skating routine untouched by either defense or offense. And put the bouncing puck up. And so, when it rains, it pours, is now Talawanda having a 5-1 lead. Schreiner gets the hat trick with 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go. 2 quick goals in less than a minute. With under 2 minutes to go, pretty much puts this one out of reach. Barring some hockey magic. But this is a team that does not quit, and we've seen that time and time again as a shot right on. Loose puck played out from the trapezoid. A big open ice check on Sexton knocks it away. As Francis Knott with the puck sends it in front of the net. Not there. And a big open ice check inside the Trojans end. Played around. Sexton battling down low into the corner. That one bounces again. Loose puck on the side of the cage. It is loose and finally covered. And Noah Carver had it the whole time. And that was enough to stop the clock. With 1:07 to go here in regulation in this 5-1 Talawanda-led hockey game. Face-off remaining inside the Trojans' end. And right from the draw, that shot into the leg pads of Ian Francis Knott as they'll battle down low. Still holding on to it. As the shot low against the glass. Back on the far side boards. Now for Schreiner. Already a hat trick tonight. Sends it around. Laid out to neutral ice. Now a breakaway attempt for Gavin Burris. And an old battle right there. And Burris getting really upset with the no call behind him the second time. And it looks like they're both going to head into the box. Looks like it's going to be high sticking against Burris and roughing against Hill for Talawanda. And it's going to stay 5-on-5 even strength with 37.5 seconds on the clock. And so on the breakout attempt at the line and out to center ice. Offsides is going to be the call.
Number 28, 2-minute marker for looking. Jonathan Ball, 2-minute marker. For the Trojans.
And so the faceoff is going to stay in the neutral zone off of that offsides call. And Kelly, a quick shot. Just seconds left in this hockey game. As that one right back down low. Picked back up, and a big open ice check against the Dashers. Still battling into the corner. And out to center ice with Smith. No icing call as they'll battle down low into the corner, and a delayed penalty coming just as time expires. And so just like that, 3 periods in the books from the historic Hobart Arena in downtown Troy. As the Trojans could not pull out the win this morning/afternoon against the Talawanda Brave, as you see the Trojans and the Brave saluting each other out on the ice surface. Final score tonight, it's going to be 5-1. As you see, head coach Rick Szabo congratulating the Talawanda coaching staff as the Trojans skate off the ice for one final time this regular season. That'll be it until November, when the Trojans will be back at it for the 2022-2023 season here inside the historic Hobart Arena. And you see Trojans getting their final step off the ice right there. As the crowd leaves, we will step aside. Your final score from inside the historic Hobart Arena in downtown Troy. The Oxford Talawanda Brave 5, your Troy Trojans 1, and that'll do it for the 2021-2022 portion of the home schedule for the Troy Trojans. They will finish the season on the road next week before it's time for the Ohio High School Athletic Association playoffs. Again, thanks for tuning in from around the world. You can watch this game and the rest of our Troy, Ohio TV games right here on troyohio.tv, as well as on Facebook and Instagram and the official YouTube channel of Troy, Ohio TV. Be sure to like us there as well. Until next season, for our entire Troy, Ohio TV crew, for Mindy Paff, for Riley, for Lily Grace, for Rhino and John Wyatt, and of course for our expert team photographer Katie Sexton all season long, providing the action shots that you see on social media, I am JT Szabo. For one final time this season, your Trojans fall at home in the season finale 5-1. This has been a presentation of Troy, Ohio TV, copyright 2022. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good night.